Hello party people, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tori. Thank you so much for being here today. As you can tell by the title of today's video, we are going to be talking about spring and summer trends. This is not a trend prediction video. Instead, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the pieces I've been noticing online and in real life, and the direction that I hope some of these trends take on, and some of the ways I think you can embrace them yourself if you choose to do so. So yeah, let's get into it. I wrote down all of my notes right here on this little pad that I stole. But the first trend that I have on here are drop waist dresses and skirts. This trend actually made the list because I noticed a lot of these kinds of drop waist dresses on the Oscars red carpet. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I did a whole roundup of trends that I saw on the carpet that I thought we all could translate into our own wardrobes and into our own closets. And that was one that I saw a lot and one that I was really drawn to. Ever since I saw it on the red carpet, I kind of just looked up online like drop waist dresses, drop waist skirts, and it really reminds me a lot of like the old like Free People dress that had a literal chokehold on my teenage girldom. And I also saw a lot of dresses in this style from brands that I would say kind of evoke like the really feminine aesthetics, like cottagecore or like more like whimsical fairy vibe outfits. As someone who is a tall person but has a really long torso and like relatively short legs for my height, I'm actually really interested in this. Really, I'm kind of drawn to this silhouette because I've noticed that I also really like to style a lot of my maxi skirts in this way, just like kind of having them on the hip, not so much on the waist. So I thought that was really interesting. I feel like this is also something that's very accessible, meaning that it is really available at any price point. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye out as I shop more for the spring and summer. The next trend I have on this list are metallics. So I actually mentioned metallics in like a fall winter video a few months back. And I feel like this trend can really be summarized by one specific piece, and that is the metallic pant. I feel like the one that everyone is talking about is one from Zara, but unfortunately I can't fit into Zara. So I know they also sell them on the Gap, and it's literally on back order and I'm waiting for my pair to arrive. But I really like the idea of like this metallic pant. We've been seeing metallic also come up in a lot of different forms. I honestly remember seeing metallic all the way back in like 2021 when everyone had the metallic cowboy boot. We're seeing it a lot in accessories, like think of like the diesel handbags that everyone loves. I want to say like designer brands like Prada have a lot of like shoes and accessories in this kind of style. I feel like its most accessible form has been in this kind of like metallic silver kind of foil look. And I feel like incorporating a piece like this, especially a metallic pant, is one way to elevate your usual standard like going out formula. But I feel like this is a piece that you could really wear for like those big night outs, those big occasions. I would also say like I just envision myself wearing these pants like to concerts because I'm someone who always loves to dress for a theme, loves to dress for a concert. I'll let you know when those pants come in and how I style them, but I think conceptually I'm really into the metallics, even though I am a golden girl when it comes to my jewelry. I also think this trend has a lot of longevity. I can definitely see people still styling it right now around the spring and summer. And when it gets too hot, I can see people bringing these out again for like the fall and winter season. I feel like this might be the 2023 version of the leather pant, like when everyone was obsessed with the Aritzia Molina pants, myself included. I feel like this just might be the Molina pants like fun little sister, if you catch my vibe. This next trend that I have on here is what I'm calling utilitarian pockets and bags. I've kind of noticed this trend through a couple different avenues. First off is through the spawn con of this specific Miu Miu bag. This really fun bag that has a lot of utilitarian pockets around the body of the bag. I was also really thinking about this Fendi baguette bag, which I believe was actually reimagined by Marc Jacobs for Fendi. I also think that the popularity of the cargo skirt and just like seeing a lot more people styling a cargo skirt has kind of gotten pockets on my brain. I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate this into my world yet. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of it just because we are kind of veering more into more functional bags and away from like the mini tiny bags. So I'm excited to see where this goes. This next trend is one that I have talked about at length, so I'm very sorry I'm talking about it again, and that is sheer dresses and sheer dressing. This is another one of those trends that I feel like has been happening for a while now. We saw it a lot last year at the red carpet for the Oscars, and so I feel like now It's just more accessible, so we're seeing more people wear it in real life. I literally just bought a dress for the specific trend, so I'm really excited to style it and wear it a lot this spring and summer. It's one of those pieces I think is a very simple piece, but depending on who you are and how you like to style your clothes, it can be a really fun layering piece. And I also feel like within this trend, you either go a lace dress, you go for a crochet dress, or you could go for like the more mesh paneling kind of dress. I feel like for me personally, it really just depends on the kind of dress that it is. I'm not saying I'll never wear lace, but I'm saying for a lot of the lace dresses in this trend that I've seen, they just are not my cup of tea. I'm kind of more of like the mesh and the crochet kind of girl. I feel like with lace, it's really easy to look super granny-like. And I feel like I'm already someone who really embraces like the eccentric aunt energy. So I don't know if like I'm one to rock lace just yet. But overall, I'm a huge fan of the sheer dressing trend. So that's that. The next two trends are just two outerwear trends that I feel like don't really need an explanation, so I'm grouping them together. And that is denim blazers and brown leather jackets. I feel like I've been seeing a rise in this kind of outerwear lately. I feel like I started to see more of the brown leather jacket trend coming out after Fashion Month ended. And then I feel like the denim blazer is one that I've really only just been seeing so far, like styled or like editorialized. I haven't really seen people wearing this just yet. I'd love to see these pieces out in the wild, honestly. I've only ever been seeing them like on my screen, and sometimes fashion trends on screen don't translate to real life. So I'm interested to see how these wear IRL, if I can find any of these pieces in real life. I don't know. I feel like two different kinds of people can really rock these kinds of outerwear. It's either like the Miu Miu girl or like the Diesel girl. Like you're either leaning into like the grunginess of it all, or you're leaning more into the preppiness of it. So I feel like there's two different ways you could interpret this trend. And so I'm really excited to see it kind of become more accessible and not just be styled on girlies walking a runway or girlies going to Fashion Week. So we'll see. Okay. The next trend I have on here is the plastic bag. And more specifically, I've been seeing a lot of people rocking the Coperni bag. I think it's kind of taken a whole life of its own after, I believe it was Mango created a dupe of this bag, and it's kind of gone viral. It kind of reminds me of the era like 2013 to 2015 when everyone was wearing neoprene and plastic. I'm kind of getting like flashbacks, like cringe flashbacks to that, but it really was a moment. It was a vibe. But I really think this bag is so interesting. I think this is definitely something that I'm on the hunt for, just because I feel like this is also partly functional. In America, you can't really bring bags into concerts or into like event spaces anymore. So a lot of the times they will tell you that you need to bring like a see-through baggie, or if you bring a bag that's not see-through, it has to be like literally this big. And I just think that this kind of like see-through bag is something that would be so helpful for me as someone who is always going to concerts and always wants to have a cute bag. Like it's so heartbreaking when I have a cute outfit on at a concert and then I just have this plastic backpack with me, and it totally kills the vibe. And I'm like, wow, I wish I had a cuter plastic bag. I also feel like the concept of like see-through plastic bags or like not as opaque plastic bags is coming back into style again. Coast recently re-released their tabby in like this kind of plasticky, slightly opaque material, which I feel like is kind of in the same vein. Even though they're two totally different like sculptural styles of bag, the way they're kind of being more playful with like this like neo-futuristic space sci-fi aesthetic is really interesting to me. I really would love to see more of this. I'm trying to get my hands on this bag because I'm like, dude, this would be perfect for concerts, but we'll see. Do I really need that many bags? No, the answer is no. Finally, the last trend that I have on here is another one that I've talked a lot about, and that is rosettes and tying flowers around yourself. Again, this trend is nothing new, but it also just really reminds me of something that I used to wear a few years ago. I think it was like my peak like 2016 era. I used to wear cord similar to this like material wrapped around my neck to emulate a choker, and I feel like this is just the updated version of that. I really love it. Like, who doesn't love a DIY? I've been seeing a lot of rosettes in this way. I've been seeing people just like go to like their local craft store and kind of take other kinds of flowers, whether it's like a bit more Loewe inspired or if they're going for the more traditional rose. People are just taking the plastic flowers and tying it around their necks or tying it around their chests or tying it around their bags. And I feel like that's really fun. I feel like if you hate it, like fine, you don't have to do it. But I feel like it's also one of those trends that I think is extremely accessible and like is totally something that anyone can rock and wear. And you know, once this trend is over, you can always find ways to reincorporate it into like your space, into your interior design. So I really like it. Those are all the trends I've written down for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you'll be rocking any of these trends or if you hate any of them or anything you would like me to know, or if you've noticed any other trends circulating around for the spring and summer time that I have not mentioned. Thank you so much for joining me and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.